Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Jake. I'm out here in Northern California. I'm 17 years old, currently going through my freshman year with Liberty University. I just want to share with you a story that God has used to inform my heart, and I hope you're blessed by it. So let me first off start by saying I love motorsports. I've grown up around my grandpa racing cars at Laguna Seca, my dad racing motocross, rebuilding engines late at night, and my dad had me on a bicycle before I could even talk, and then moved up to motorcycles, and that's what I'm doing still to this day. And so it's always been a big part of my life. And this summer, I got an amazing opportunity to spend a week in Birmingham, Alabama with my dad. And we were there for Glenn Beck's Restoring Unity conference. It was amazing. And while we were there, a friend had mentioned to us that we should go and check out Barber Motorsports Park. And there was a museum there, and it was full of motorcycles, and he thought that we would like it. So we went, and I was fully expecting, it's Alabama, so I'm expecting to drive out in the middle of nowhere and see some dirty old barn and have some old guy take us through and show us some dusty old Harleys. But we get there, and I was just blown away at this 80,000 square foot uh, museum that was full of 1,400 fully restored bikes. They were it was all one of a kind motorcycles that you wouldn't see anywhere else, from the 1800s to next year's prototypes. And so we're just going through, and I'm taking pictures of everything and reading the history, and we just spent hours just looking at all the different things. There's 5 stories of motorcycles. And so I was just beside myself. I took so many pictures, and I had sent a bunch to my buddy who was not really interested in motorcycles much, and I had called him that night, and we were just talking, and I'm going through and just saying how cool it was and what an amazing experience I just had. And we finally got to the point in the conversation where he just goes, "Yeah, it's really all really cool, Jake. It's just too bad that those motorcycles don't really serve a purpose anymore. I mean, it's kind of silly that they would fill a building with them, and and that they don't get put to use ever." And immediately when he said that, I was convicted by God of just wow, that has become the American church, at least the California church that I've come to know. I go to a church of about 15,000 in a very wealthy area of Northern California. So as you can imagine, people come from the outside to come see what is on display at our church. I mean, if you've heard of Lincoln Brewster, I'm sure you've heard him on the radio. He's literally our worship leader at the church. So people are constantly coming in to see the worship leaders and the celebrity pastors and whoever's being, whatever guests that they bring in, and they bring in people, artists and people from all around the world who are famous, and a lot of people just come in to see what's on display. And I thought, man, while I was in this museum, I was just going, man, it is too bad that these motorcycles aren't out there doing laps around a racetrack somewhere. That somebody's not riding these things. They don't really serve a purpose. And at the same time, I'm thinking about our American church that we've come to know, and I go, wow, it's too bad that people come to see all these beautiful things and people on display and then never take it outside the 4 walls or the doors of the church to our families, to our campuses, to our places of work. And and I got, man, how sad is that there isn't a lot of purpose applied anywhere outside the church. Like, it's cool that we do it on Sundays, but that's pretty much it for the week. And James talks about this a lot in Scripture. He says in James 2:18, he says, "Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds." James 1:22 says, "But prove yourselves doers of the word, not merely hearers who deceive themselves." It's an incredible conviction for us as Christians to not just fill seats in a church building on Sundays. Um, and we have to take what it is that we've learned, the person that God has molded us into be, the passions that He has given us, the desires that we have, and we have to go put those to work for the glory of God outside the church building. It's not enough to just be hearers of His word, but we have got to go out and do. We've got to go out and do some laps around the track, and that's encouraging to me because I'll do that all day long. But in regards to our faith, this was monumental to me to see that God truly wants us in the game. He wants us out of the church building, and we got to go out and we got to be the church wherever we're at. So this was an incredible, convicting moment for me, and I hope that you were blessed by it, and God bless.